Hey, if you're wondering whether you should settle or pay off a collection on your credit report, you found the right video. Hey, let's cue in that intro and let's dive into the topic. Hey, how's it going, friend? Juan, Pablo here. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. We're glad to have you. On this channel, we like to focus on the 3 pillars to financial freedom, which are personal finance, which relates to credit, funding, having a repeatable source of investment capital, and last and certainly not least, real estate investing, having multi-units, multi-family properties in your portfolio. So if you're new to the channel, just make sure you like, subscribe, and share this content so that way the algorithm can do its thing to provide you with additional videos to help you along your journey towards financial freedom. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So one of my students, he asked this question on one of our coaching sessions about collections. He's been having this stubborn collection on his credit report. And the same thing happened to me where I had an apartment that I was renting just before I started buying properties to improve my credit. This is way back when, after graduating college, my credit wasn't so pretty. And I lived out of the property, and when I moved out, they said I owed them additional money. And as a result of saying they owe additional money and I didn't pay it because I didn't have the money at the time, they put a collection on my credit report. So I was pretty much familiar with, or I had some familiarity with that process because he's going through the same thing as well. So he said, hey Juan, but I don't owe that company any money. I don't owe them a thing. I moved out, I left the property in broom swept condition, and I paid up all rents. I don't know where this came from. So he said, hey, well, what should I do? Should I just dispute this negative item using one of your dispute letters that's in the program, or B, should I just settle it, even though I don't want to sell it because I know I don't owe them a thing? So that's a really great question. So I'm gonna walk you through some of the steps that I share with him. So hopefully this will be helpful and beneficial to you. So one of the things I share with him is this. All right, whether the debt is yours or not is not that important, because according to the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, you're able to dispute any negative, not necessarily negative, but inaccurate items on your credit report, according to the FCRA. And when you dispute these things, the credit bureaus, because you're not disputing it directly with the collection company or the creditor, the original creditor, you're disputing these items directly with the credit bureaus. And they have up to 30, let's say 35 days max to be able to let you know that that negative item has been verified, which means that this is a legit item on your credit, or delete it. Meaning if they verified that it wasn't accurate, they'll remove it from your credit report. So I said, okay, so whether this negative item is legit or not, this is what you need to do. What I've typically done is I'll dispute that negative item 3 times. Month 1, month 2, month 3. If it falls off in month 1, great. I'm not going to dispute it a second or third time, of course. But what I'm saying is I'll dispute it up to 3 rounds, up to 3 months to see if it'll come off. And let's say it does not come off, it doesn't budge, it's just a stubborn collection. We've all had those, right? You probably have a few stubborn collections on your own. So then the next thing I'll say is, and by the way, when we did this, it might have been stubborn simply because our dispute letters weren't strong enough. Now our dispute letters that we have in our program are ironclad. And I have a video below to recommend for you about credit prayers, so just check the link below to learn more. But now our dispute letters are a lot tougher, a lot stronger, ironclad. But back then they were okay. This is me just getting started. So I share with them, okay, dispute it for 3 rounds. And you want to receive correspondence from the bureaus. You want to check your credit monitoring service to make sure you view your activity monthly to see if that negative item came off. So just check the link below to learn more as well about our preferred credit monitoring service. So after 3 months and that negative thing doesn't come off, then I want you to call your creditor. And when you call your creditor, or the collection company I should say, then you want to be able to negotiate. You want to negotiate 50 cents on the dollar. So let's say for instance he owed $2,000, then you want to start off the bid at $1,000. And you can negotiate up to about 70%. So meaning if you owe that collection company $1,000, start the bid off at 1,000 to whatever 70% of 2,000 is, 1,400. So settle between that range, 1,000 to 1,400. Okay, and if the collection company agrees to settle, then you want to make sure you get in writing that, number one, you agree to settle. So that way, once you pay this settlement, let's say it was $1,200, to remove that negative item off your credit report. And the second condition is this, and you cannot sell the remaining balance. So you got to make sure the collection company has that in writing and is signed. Because I made the mistake in which I settled with my debt that I owed to an apartment building, but I didn't get it in writing. So I did settle, but when I checked my credit report 2 years later, again, this is me just graduating college, so I wasn't the Juan Pablo I am today. I didn't know anything about real estate, financial freedom, credit, none of that stuff, personal finance, funding. I didn't know none of that stuff. So I checked it 2 years later and realized, whoa, this collection is still on my credit report. Why is that? And I said, well, we settled 2 years ago for $800. And they said, well, I don't know what you're talking about. And I didn't have anything in writing. So as a result, I had to make sure I had to settle the remaining balance again. So learning from that experience, you want to make sure that if you do have to settle after you try disputing it for the first 3 rounds, then make sure you get in writing. A, you're not going to sell my debt, the remaining balance, and B, you're going to remove this from my credit report. Now you may do this, and the collection company may still keep that on your credit. Yeah, it happens. But if you send out another dispute letter after you settle, that pretty much increases the chances of that coming off. That had to happen to me before, where I might have had a collection for a utility bill, not mine, but for a tenant. It's not because I didn't have the money, it's because they might have sent the water bill to a P.O. box. And you know, if you have 72 units, you might forget about paying a water bill that comes quarterly for this one particular property, right? So that happened. So as a result of not paying it, received a collection. So I was able to settle. Then after that, I sent a dispute letter and bam, it was removed. Okay, so that's the process I recommend for you. Now I'm interested in learning more about how you can boost your credit score, or those ironclad letters I mentioned of how you can utilize those, leverage those to be able to have that pretty credit, that Holly Berry credit. Credit so pretty, so clean that every lending institution wants to holler at you because you look very attractive, financially speaking. Then make sure you check the link below to learn more. As always, guys, this is to your success. Continue to earn passively, live passionately. Peace.